Question number 1. When the two elements of a pair have dash, when in motion, it is said to be a lower pair. We have four choices: line or point contact, surface contact, permit relative motion, none of the above. So you should see what is the answer for this. So given first is a line or point contact, second is surface contact, permit relative motion, none of the above mentioned. So you can see here from the question that it is said it is a lower pair. So lower pair you should think what is higher pair and lower pair. So surface contact is usually a lower pair. Okay. So line or point contact is always a higher pair. So answer should be surface contact. Okay. So this is the answer. More explanation you can see here. Question number 2. The two elements of a pair are said to form a higher pair when they answer 1. A. Have a surface contact when in motion. Answer B. Have a line or point contact when in motion. Answer C. Are kept in contact by action of external forces when in motion. D. Permit relative motion. So we should think what is the answer for this. What is they have mentioned it is a higher pair. Okay, so we should know what is higher pair and lower pair. So higher pair usually have a point or line contact. So surface contact usually have a lower pair. So in the question they have mentioned about the higher pair. So you should think of the answer where you have the higher pair related contacts, nothing but a line or point contacts. So answer is have a line or point contact when in motion. Question number 3. The two elements of a pair are said to form dash when they permit relative motion between them. We'll see the answers. A. Open pair, B. Kinematic pair, C. Higher pair, D. Lower pair. So looking at the question, we can see they have mentioned about the pairing of two elements. So then the open pair will be ruled out. Then we are left with the three more: kinematic pair, higher pair, and lower pair. So we need to find out what it is. But there are nothing mentioned about higher pair or lower pair. So obviously you have to go for the answer B. Kinematic pair. So kinematic pair, the two links or elements of a machine, when in contact with each other, they are said to form a pair. If the relative motion between them is completely or successfully constrained, the pair is known as kinematic pair. Question number 4. In an open pair, the two elements of a pair dash answers. We have four answers: have a surface contact when in motion, have a line or point contact when in motion, are kept in contact by external action of external forces when in motion, D. Are not held mechanically. So answer we should think they mention nothing about the higher pair or lower pair. Then the first two answer will be ruled out, and third one is an external forces. Okay, then open pair is the last answer. We'll see the answer are not held mechanically. What is the explanation? When two elements of a pair are not held mechanically, they are called open pair. Question number 5. The sliding pairs, turning pairs, and screw pairs form A. Lower pair, B. Upper pair, C. Lateral pair, D. None of these. So answer is lower pair. We should see the explanation here. See, they are mentioned about sliding pair, turning pair, and screw pairs. So all these will have the lower pairs actually. So when two elements of pair have surface contact, when in relative motion takes place, the surface of the one element slides over the other surface. The pair formed is called lower pair. So it will be seen that sliding pair, turning pair, and screw pairs have a lower pair, so nothing but a element slides over the surface of the other. So in all these cases, sliding, turning, and screw pairs, one surface slides over the other. So hence the answer is lower pair. Question number 6. A combination of kinematic pairs joined in a such a way that the relative motion between the link is completely constrained is called. So you should know what is the answer for this. Four answers: structure, mechanism, kinematic chain, inversion. Looking at the definition of the kinematic chain, you will come to know it is nothing but a combination of kinematic pairs joined in such a way that relative motion between the link is completely constrained. Okay, so then the answer could be the kinematic chain. So structure is a one in which it is a rigid one in it is just for taking up the load, whereas the mechanism is the one in which one or the two links are constrained in a such a way that you get some mechanisms. Whereas in the inversion, you constrained different links at different times, you get a different mechanism. So answer should be kinematic chain. Question number 7. The relation between number of pairs P forming a kinematic chain and number of links L is given by A. L is equal to P minus 2, L is equal to P minus 3, L is equal to 2P minus 4, L is equal to P minus 5. Answer is L is equal to P minus 4. So this is a standard equation. If each link is assumed to form two pairs with adjacent links, then the relation between the number of pairs P forming a kinematic chain and number of links L may be expressed in the form of an equation given by L is equal to 2P minus 4. Question number 8. Which one of the following mechanisms is an inversion of double slider crank chain? Answer A. Elliptical trammel, B. Beam engine, C. Oscillating cylinder engine, D. Coupling rod of a locomotive. So answer is elliptical trammel. Why elliptical trammel is the inversion of a double slider crank chain. So it is a double slider crank. Question number 9. A point on a link connecting a double slider crank chain will trace a straight line, circle, parabola, ellipse. What is the answer? Answer is D. Ellipse. Explanation. A point on connecting link traces an elliptical path. Question number 10. A 4-bar chain has all turning pair, one turning pair and others are sliding pairs. C. One sliding pair and others are turning pair. D. All sliding pairs. Answer is all the turning pair. Answer A. A 4-bar linkage, also called 4-bar, is the simplest movable closed chain linkage. It consists of 4 bodies called bars or links connected in a loop by 4 joints. Generally, the joints are configured so the link move in a parallel plane and the assembly is called planar 4-bar linkage. Question number 11. The mechanism in a shaping machine is a closed 4-bar chain having 6 revolute pairs. B. A closed 6-bar chain having 6 revolute pairs. C. A closed 4-bar chain having 2 revolute and 2 sliding pairs. D. An inversion of single slider crank chain. The answer is D. An inversion of single slider crank chain. Explanation. Shaping machine use quick return motion mechanisms which are either Whitworth quick return mechanism or crank or slotted lever quick return mechanism. These are inversions of a single slider crank chain. Question number 12. The number of inversion of a slider crank chain is answer A 6, answer B 5, answer C 4, answer D 3, answer C 4. Explanation. A slider crank chain has 4 links and by fixing each link one at a time we get 4 different mechanisms, each of which is an inversion. Hence, the slider crank chain has 4 inversions. Question number 13. Which of the following is an inversion of single slider crank chain? Answer A. Elliptical trammel. Answer B. Hand pump. Answer C. Oldham's coupling. Answer D. Scotch yoke. Explanation. Hand pump. Hand pump is an inversion of single slider crank chain. Question number 14. Which of the following are the inversions of double slider crank chain? 1. Oldham coupling. 2. Whitworth quick return mechanisms. 3. Beam engine mechanisms. 4. Elliptical trammel mechanism. The correct answer codes are A 1 and 2, B 1 and 4, C 2, 3 and 4, D 1, 2 and 3. And the answer is B 1 and 4. Explanation. Oldham coupling and elliptical trammel are inversions of double slider crank chain. Whitworth quick return mechanism is an inversion of single slider crank chain. Beam engine mechanism is an inversion of 4-bar linkage. Question number 15. The smaller and generally the driving gear of a pair of mated gears is called A. Pitch, B. Module, C. Rack, D. Pinion. The answer is D. Pinion. Pinion is the smaller and the driving gear of a pair of mated gear. It is used in gear train drives and is usually the smaller gear. The pinion engages the larger gear or rack that helps in turning the wheels of a vehicle. Question number 16. The distance measured along the circumference of the pitch circle from a point on one tooth to the same point on the adjacent tooth is called A. Pitch diameter, B. Circular pitch, C. Pitch point, D. Line of centers. The answer is the B. Circular pitch. Explanation. The circular pitch is the distance measured along the circumference of the pitch circle from a point on one tooth to the same point on the adjacent tooth. So basically it is the distance between corresponding points of consecutive gear teeth. If P pitch d pi by n, where P is the circular pitch, D is the standard pitch of diameter, and n is the number of teeth. Question number 17. The number of teeth per unit length of the pitch circle diameter is called A. Diametral pitch, B. Module, C. Clearance, D. Gear ratio. And the answer is diametral pitch A. So explanation. Diametral pitch is the number of teeth per unit length of the pitch circle diameter. Question number 18. The ratio of the number of teeth on the gear to the number of teeth on the pinion is called A. Velocity ratio, B. Module, C. Gear ratio, D. Pitch point. And the answer is C. Gear ratio. Explanation. The gear ratio is given by capital T by small t and is defined as the ratio of number of teeth on the gear, that is capital T, to the number of teeth on the pinion, that is small t. So velocity ratio is the inverse of gear ratio. Question number 19. The ratio of pitch diameter to the number of teeth is called A. Module, B. Addendum, C. Dedendum, D. Backlash. And the answer is module A. Explanation. The module is the ratio of pitch diameter to the number of teeth. The module indicates the size of the gear and classifies whether gear is big or small, as module is a unit of size. So module is equal to D by T. Question 20. The circle passing through the upper tips of the teeth is called pitch circle, circular pitch, dedendum circle, addendum circle. And the answer is D. Addendum circle. Explanation. Addendum circle is the circle passing through the upper tips of the teeth. The addendum circle lies on the outside cylinder for external gaze, whereas the addendum circle lies on the internal cylinder for internal gaze. The diameter for the addendum circle of an internal gear is called inside diameter. Question number 21. The radial height of a tooth above the pitch circle is called A. Addendum, B. Dedendum, C. Rack, D. Line of centers. Answer is A. Addendum. Explanation. The addendum is the radial height of a tooth above the pitch circle. Basically, it is a radial distance between the pitch diameter and diameter of the outside circle. Addendum angle is the angle between the face cone and the cone pitch. Question number 22. The circle passing through the roots of the teeth is called dash. A. Addendum, B. Addendum circle, C. Dedendum circle, D. Rack. Answer is C. Dedendum circle. Explanation. The dedendum circle is the circle passing through the roots of the teeth. It touches the bottom of the spaces between the teeth of a gear. Question number 23. The radial difference between the addendum and the dedendum of the tooth is called the clearance, B. Rack, C. Line of action, D. Line of center. The answer is the clearance. Nothing but A. Explanation. The clearance is the radial difference between addendum and dedendum of the tooth. Clearance circle is a tangent to the addendum circle on the gear. It has a clearance which is equal to the distance between the dedendum of the gear and the addendum of the mating gear. Question number 24. If number of teeth on driven gear is 108 and the gear ratio is 4, then number of teeth on pinion is A 14, B 36, C 22, D 27. And the answer is D 27. Explanation. The gear ratio is the ratio of number of teeth on the gear or driven Z2 to the pinion or driver Z1. Therefore, G is equal to Z2 by Z1, or you can rewrite it as Z1 equal to Z2 by G. Nothing but 108 divided by 4 is 27. Question 25. If the driving gear rotates in clockwise as shown, then the driven gear will rotate in. So it is shown there. Gear 1 is driver, gear 3 and 2 are a compound gears, and the driven gear is connected to gear 2. Okay, so accordingly, there are four choices: A clockwise, B anti-clockwise, C clockwise and anti-clockwise, D can't be determined. So gear 1 is rotating in clockwise, then obviously the gear 3 will be rotating in anti-clockwise. So again 2, which is connected to 3, nothing but a compound gear, is also rotating in anti-clockwise. Therefore the driven gear, which is in contact with the 2, is also rotating in clockwise. So therefore the answer A is clockwise. So gear 3 is rotating in anti-clockwise, gear 2 is also rotating in anti-clockwise. Therefore the driven gear should rotate in clockwise. Question number 26. If one gear is fixed while the other gear has motion of two types, that is rotary about its own axis and rotation about the axis of the fixed gear, then the gear train is called A. Epicyclic gate train, reverted gate train, Kepler gate train, D. None of the above mentioned. Answer is A. Epicyclic gate train. So definition of the epicyclic gate train is nothing but this where there will be a gear at the center, and there will be, which is followed by three more gears in a epicyclic type of gate train. Question number 27. Which of the following are true about epicyclic gate train? A. Fixed gear is called sun gear. B. Rotating gear is called earth gear. C. Crank is called sun carrier. D. None of the listed. Answer is A. Fixed gear is called the sun gear. Explanation. Rotating gears are called the planet gears. Question number 28. Coefficient of friction is defined as the ratio of angle of repose to angle of friction, limiting frictional force to normal reaction, angle of friction to angle of repose, and the last one D, normal reaction to limiting frictional force. And the answer is B, limiting frictional force F to the normal reaction Rn. Question number 29. Sliding friction is also known as A. Static friction, B. Kinetic friction, C. Kinematic friction, D. Fluid friction. And the answer is kinetic friction. Explanation: the sliding friction is also known as kinetic or dynamic friction. Question number 30. If the driver pulley is rotating at 600 rpm and the velocity ratio is 3, the velocity of the driven pulley is A 100 rpm, B 125 rpm, C 200 rpm, D 450 rpm, and the answer is 200 rpm. How the velocity ratio, the equation itself will give you I is equal to n1 by n2, where n1 is the velocity of the driver, n2 is the driven pulley, or velocity of the driven pulley n2 is given by n1 by I, nothing but 600 by 3, you get 200 rpm. Question number 31. If the driver pulley diameter is at 300 millimeter with the velocity ratio of 2 and the velocity of driven pulley is 200 rpm, then the diameter of the driven pulley is given by A 600 millimeter, B 125 millimeter, C 200 millimeter, D 350 millimeter, and the answer is A 600 millimeter. Explanation: we know the velocity ratio I is equal to n1 by n2, which is also equal to diameter d2 by d1. So in order to calculate the d2, we have to multiply I into d1, nothing but 300 into 2 is nothing but 600 millimeter. Question number 32. If the coefficient of friction is 0.3 and the load is 250 Newton, then magnitude of the force of friction is A 75 newtons, B 125 newtons, C 220 newtons, D 85 newtons. And the answer is 75 newtons. How? Force of friction equation F is given by mu into W. So you know mu is 0.3 and W is 250, nothing but 75 newtons. Question number 33. Oldham's coupling is an inversion of crossed slider crank chain, single slider crank chain, 4-bar chain, D double slider crank chain, and the answer is double slider crank chain. Why Oldham's coupling is a intermediate piece? It has a flange link 1 and a flange link 3. In between there is a intermediate piece link 4, so which is rotating as well as it is sliding. So it is a double slider crank chain mechanism. Question number 34. Which of the following flat belt drive is used to start or stop machine shaft while the main or drilling shaft runs at constant speed? A. Compound belt drive, B. Fast and loose pulley, C. Stepped cone pulley, D is the open belt drive, and the answer is B. Fast and loose pulley. What is the explanation? Stepped cone pulley for reducing speed. Open belt compound belt drive has a continuous transmission, while the fast and loose pulley can be inserted and removed from the main drive. Question number 35. Gate train arranged in such a manner that one more of their member move upon and around another member is known as simple gate train, compound gate train, epicyclic gate train, reverted gate train, and the answer is epicyclic gate train. If you have seen the epicyclic gate train, there is a one gear at the center and three more gears are rotating around that center gear. So nothing but epicyclic gate train is also known as sun and the planet gear system. Question number 36. Angle of inclination of the plane at which body begins to move down the plane. A. Angle of descent, angle of projection, angle of repose, angle of friction. Answer is angle of repose. Explanation. Angle of repose is defined as the angle of the inclined plane with the horizontal such that a body placed on it is just begins to slide. Question number 37. The friction between two unlubricated surface is A. Greasy friction, B. Dry friction, C. Film friction, D. Sliding friction, and the answer is B. Dry friction. Explanation. Two unlubricated surface will have dry friction greasy and film friction when there is a oil in between the surfaces. Question 38. Velocity of the belt for maximum power is A is equal to root of T by 3m, B root of T by 4m, C root of T by 5m, D root of T by 6m. And the answer is A is equal to root of T by 3m. And the explanation. Centrifugal tension Tc is equal to me square and T is equal to T max. We know that T1 is equal to T minus Tc, and for maximum power Tc is equal to T by 3. T1 is equal to T minus T by 3 is nothing but 2T minus 3, or you can rewrite velocity of the belt for the maximum power V is equal to root of T max by 3m, where m is the mass of the belt in kg per meter length. Question 39. Two pulleys of diameter d1 and d2 and at a distance of x apart are connected by means of an open belt drive. Then the length of the belt drive equation is given by A pi by 2 d1 plus d2 by 2x plus d1 plus d2 whole square by 4x, B pi by 2 into d1 minus d2 into 2x plus d1 minus d2 whole square by 4x, C pi by 2 d1 plus d2 by into 2x plus d1 minus d2 whole square by 4x, D 4 pi by 2 into d1 minus d2 into 2x plus d1 plus d2 whole square by 4x, and the answer is C pi by 2 d1 plus d2 into 2x plus d1 minus d2 whole square by 4x.